Hello everyone and welcome back. So how are we doing today? I hope you're all well. We are trying something new on the channel today, and I know I've been doing a lot of new things lately, but I've been really excited to pick up some new kind of projects and different challenges and things like that to get the ball rolling with some different things that I'll be doing more so in the future. But today we're going to take a real life home, and more specifically an abandoned home, and recreate it in The Sims. So this is going to be a two-parter. So today we're going to go through the video and kind of look at the layout and how things are going to work together, and I'm going to build the shell and the floor plan in today's video, and then I'll do a tour video when I've finished the build and going through everything. So I'm really excited to try this. We've done a lot of like ChatGPT type builds on my channel before, and I love doing that because ChatGPT will throw some curveballs because it doesn't always show like a realistic home. It'll do some weird things like putting a bedroom on a balcony, which I did in a previous build, and I like to like use it literally because it's some funky stuff sometimes. So on my YouTube homepage a few days back, for some reason, it was recommended to see this video of an abandoned Victorian home, and it was from the channel Dark Exploration Films. And I have been on a kick before where I like watching like abandoned videos, and a lot of channels do this really well. And I think it's kind of fun and kind of spooky sometimes, depending on where they go. But I thought this was a really pretty home, and it inspired me to want to build it in The Sims. So before we dive in, I do want to give a couple of highlights on this build, and that it was originally built in 1860, and it's said to have a secret chamber that housed those coming from the Underground Railroad. I thought that was kind of a unique piece of history, but apparently it's gone through quite a few owners, relatively speaking. So back in the 1980s, there was a couple, I think, that tried to like renovate it, but it was such a huge undertaking, I'm sure financially, that they kind of gave up on it. And so another person came in the 1990s and tried to start renovating it. And again, it was just kind of abandoned because it was just too much to do. And I think at some point it's said to have been used as a couple of apartments, which I do find some possible truth in, because when we get into this build, it does have some like funky door placement. And I was like, why would you have a door here? But also with old Victorian homes, I don't think it's quite unusual. So I don't know quite if that's true or not. A lot of this is just kind of what I've heard through the grapevine and on articles that I've read about this house. It does seem to be quite famous in some regard, but it has really beautiful architecture. So before we dive in, I did find another channel that's called Urban Exploring with Cappy. And there were some instances in this original video I had seen by Dark Exploration Films where it was kind of like, well, I would like to know more about the floor plan. So they kind of both go through this house, but one of them explores certain parts of it more than the other and vice versa. So it was kind of like I needed to see both to get a better idea of how I can get the floor plan. But I have my handy dandy notebook right here. I'm going to be like trying to jot down and mapping out the house as best I can in order to do this build. Okay, so let's get started with this video. So you can see we're just getting some pans around the house. It's got 3 floors on it, and beautiful, beautiful like iron cast railings and things like that. The dormers are cute, but you can tell it's definitely in disrepair, and it has been for years and decades, I feel like at this point. But beautiful like ornate arches and stuff. And look, you even see a basement down here. So 4 floors technically. So it's a huge house. It is a huge house, but I love the character of it. And so when I came across the thumbnail for this video, I was like, I have to look at this. But I love the bay windows. It's got like a tower going on here. This is the front of the house. You have the front door over here, tons of doors and staircases. So more so over on this side, you can see like there's a door here, and then there's a door right here. And so it's got a lot of doors. It has like 7-ish doors outside. There are a lot of doors and windows to be aware of in this build, and some of the placement of them is a little funky. It is very pink. It has pink railings too. So this is the back. You even have 2 staircases right here off of a small back porch. It's a very slender porch. The porches aren't super wide except for the one in the main part of the house in the front. At least we get a really good look at the external part of the house. These are the 2 doors right here. It has a window in between, but we'll get a good idea. And then this is just like a brief look to, this is allegedly the staircase for like the secret area where people from the Underground Railroad were coming in. And I'll link the article down below that I read, just kind of giving a brief overview if you're interested in that. So before we get into the build, I want to kind of go ahead and attempt the shell. So I kind of cut it in the editing of this video, but I went back and forth on Evergreen Arbor and Brindleton Bay, And I think I want to do Brindleton Bay on this lot right here. And the reason being is that there are like water features. There's a river, I think, and even maybe a beach or a coast nearby where this house is located based on the video from the other channel. I think it can work here. I was trying Evergreen Arbor because of the like Underground Railroad reference, and they have railroads in Evergreen Arbor, but it just wasn't looking right with the vibe of the world and everything. And the lots are smaller there. I feel like with how large it is, and you know, when we do scaling in The Sims, it's not the same. So I just would rather have more room to work with. And so this 30 by 40 or 40 by 30 lot rather is what we're going to use for this build today. So I have already gone through both videos to try to figure out the full floor plan. So like have my notes with my floor plan on my notebook here. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of guesstimate on the size of the house, but we are still gonna walk through the house, and I'm not gonna do the floor plan until we go through the videos on the inside. Okay, so we do have a bump out on the side of the house. I'm just gonna kind of do something here like that is about that size. And then we essentially just need like a big rectangle for the most part. So I'm gonna just put this for now. We'll see how this works out. I'm referencing my notebook trying to figure out how I want this to go. I feel like this might be a little too big. Let's shrink it down just a little right here. And then honestly, maybe we could include the porch in that space. Oh, well, we do have the bay windows right here. So let's see. So they kind of come out here, and then I want to keep it just one tile. So do something like that. Oh, you know what? It actually has like a little bit of an indentation. So maybe we should do one tile over and then do the bay. Yeah, that looks... Oh, wait, no. No, I forgot to do it there. Okay, now go in. And then there is like a back porch over here, but it's kind of slender. So I think just doing like one tile might be the way to go. And then there's like a little bit of a bump right here, so it doesn't go all the way flush with the other wall. And then there's actually a room, it looks like, off of the porch. So maybe that's the vibe a little bit. I might make this like a laundry room or something. I don't think in either video they show what's in this little bump out right here, but there's like a door on the outside, and I think it's pretty common, especially in older houses, to have your laundry separate from the inside of the house. So I'm gonna kind of roll with that, I think. Okay, so let's kind of reposition the house. Let's scoot it over this way a little bit and maybe like down this way some. It's a little more centered on the lot that way. So boom, 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 boom. I've kind of been going back and forth. I think I want the house to be on a foundation because that's such like characteristic of the build in the video. Now, the thing is, there is an outdoor entrance to the basement, which you could technically make if you don't have a foundation. I'd rather trade off maybe just not having an external entrance into the basement in order to have the foundation than to have it flat on the ground and have entrance to the basement on the outside. I don't know. I feel like the foundation is more character to the house. And speaking of basements, let's just kind of go ahead and get a box. So spoiler alert, we don't really see the like full shape of the basement relative to the bottom. So I'm just going to put like a big box in the bottom, and we'll figure it out from there. And then honestly, it looks like the second floor is literally just the bottom floor without the bump out. So I'm just going to put a big box here. I think that's in line with everything. And then it also does come out right here with the bay window area. Boom, 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 boom. And then I might be getting a little bit ahead of myself here, but it looks like the third floor would essentially be just like the tower. And then I think with the flat roof, so whenever you do these, you have to leave like a tile on the edges to do those really well. So I'm thinking that maybe just like having it one tile in on the top is kind of the way to go. Boom, 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 boom. So I think we have like an idea of the external shell right now. So let's hop back into the video and kind of look at the inside. That's where things start to get really gnarly. That door on the side that's furthest down gets you into the kitchen. And so just kind of looking at the layout of the kitchen here, it's kind of nice. It has those shelves on the side, which I think we can do in The Sims, but it has some really weird shapes, like hexagonal shapes and like angled counters on the bottom. So that's going to be a little bit tricky. Like over here with the sink, it's like at an angle right here. So I want to try to do that literally. We'll see if it turns out or not, but that's kind of the vibe that we're going for. And then obviously we'll probably try some old appliances and things like that. I'm just kind of skipping forward, but you can definitely get like the cute vibes of the house just from the kitchen alone. You can tell it's a little bit dated, but has some ornate things. And this is a nice pan where you can see the fridge was over by that door. Then off of the kitchen, you have this one room, which I'm not sure what we're going to use that for yet. It's kind of a random area to put that. So I think in these older homes, you have a lot of random rooms. But then in this room, in this area, this is one of the doors that goes to the back porch through this room. And so it has these nice built-in shelves, which I'm not sure if we're going to be able to fit that in really well. Just keeping in mind, doing things from real life to Sims, the scale is super off. So I'm not getting my hopes up, but it would be nice if we could maybe use like the Book Nook modular shelves. That could work really well for this little area, I think. Once you get off of that room, which was right next to the kitchen as well, you walk into here. So this is where that other door on the side was, and it's actually in the dining room. So you have some nice built-ins in the dining space, and you even see briefly there's another room right here off the dining room. So it's kind of like, okay, what are we going to use that space for? It's just kind of like another small room. I'm thinking we can maybe have some like little study office areas or something off of these rooms, but these doors are beautiful. Like the craftsmanship for these wooden pocket doors, I would love to have that in my home. And then this room is the living space. So that's another door off the front porch that wraps around. And then off of that, you have two rooms or two doorways over here, and then a big archway right here that leads you to another front room of the house. So we have a lot of like just rooms that aren't necessarily bedrooms, but they're just rooms. So lots of big open spaces to work with. It might seem like it's a little straightforward right now, but whenever we get into the video a bit more, you'll see why it's not, because it has some very interesting choices for the floor plan. I recommend you watch the video if you're curious to watch these things, because this person goes into detail on like the doorknobs, the ironwork, and things like that. And so does the other video. I'll link both of these videos down below for you to watch if you want to check out these a little bit more detail. And then off of that living space, this is one of the doorways. You have this bathroom. It's a big room with just 3 pieces of furniture, but you have this round wall. Like, why? Why do we have a round wall in the bathroom? And so you have to have your toilet and your shower off of that, and then you have a sink over here. So it's an interesting choice, because then off of this bathroom, you have the room behind it, which leads to the back porch. So you have another kind of random room off of the bathroom. So the bathroom's kind of in the middle between 2 rooms, and it's not like a Jack and Jill situation. It's a living space on one side, and then you have a door to the back porch in this area too. So it's like, should I use it as a mudroom or another kind of study nook area, or like what are we going to use this room for? Because I don't know. I really don't. We have that like furnace, so I might try to put, I think we have something in The Sims that's very similar looking to this that I could put there. But then he goes into this room next, which just has a lot of random arcade games, which is interesting that someone was storing arcade games in this house. You can see the rounded room right here by the staircase. So it's kind of a cool feature, but it's just kind of going to be annoying to work with, because I just did a pumpkin house and round walls are making me sick to my stomach just thinking about it. So I don't know how complicated that's going to be. Once we get to the front of the house, you can like see this beautiful staircase. So very ornate details, and it's right off the front door. So it runs along the side of the house, and as you can see, like it continues up. So we're going to have to stack staircases on top of one another, which you can do in The Sims, which I learned recently actually that is possible. You would think that you can't, because The Sims is limited and other things that you think would be very easy to do, but it doesn't, but it actually can do that. So I'm very happy about that. And this is the front door. So it's a double door entry. So once you get to the top of the landing here, there's like a small bathroom, and there's not a lot of room to work with on this like second floor as far as like from the hall space. So whenever you get around this small bathroom, you can see the staircase continues up, but over off of here, you have 2 entryways. So you have a room here, which has a door to the room next to it. So you would think this would be a bedroom, right? Like, okay. And you would think the room next to it would be a bedroom, but it's adjoined with a door. Kind of weird. It makes me think of a hotel, you know, like where you have the doors between rooms. That's kind of what it's given me here. So I think it's really interesting. Like there are some interesting choices here with this house. You can see like it's just collapsed. This is like the main area where the roof has collapsed from the top floor, and it's just making damage and causing havoc throughout the entire house on that same spot. So this is like what I would consider like another bedroom space. But then you have an opening, not in the hallway, but off of the room into the next room. So this is where things get kind of wonky to me. Older homes have some unique choices. That's all I can say. But off of that room, you get into this area where he shows a hallway. And so you have like this bathroom, and he calls it the master bathroom. So you don't see a toilet. But in the brief glimpse of the hallway, you see that there's another room on the other side. So I'm thinking it was a split bathroom, which was not uncommon in older Victorian homes. So I'm going to make the executive decision of trying to do a split bathroom here. He doesn't explore or show that part of the floor plan as much because I knew there was another room off of the bay window room. Like you can see it over here, but he doesn't show that part of the build. Where he cuts to in this bathroom is actually through that room and into the other room on the other side of that. So we have like 4 rooms attached in a row that aren't off of the hallway. So you can see this is the stairway hideaway for freed slaves along the Underground Railroad. And so this staircase by the kitchen, between the kitchen and dining room, it joins on a landing on that second floor, which is like the 4th room at the back of the house. So again, it's just weird. You don't have a hallway. You have to walk through rooms to get to them unless you take this staircase to get to the other side. So this is that hallway where the bathroom's on this side, but we never see what's on the other one. Oh, okay. So he did show that room. I just didn't remember correctly. So my bad. My bad. But this is the landing off of that, and then the hallway with the split bathroom is over here. Neither one of them goes into the room on the left, and I don't blame them because the floor looks like it's going to collapse. Now we're getting into the 3rd floor, which as you can see is a completely unfinished space. So I'm planning on using it in the build, and I have an idea from one of you who left a comment, and you had an idea for having 2 single moms and them having 2 sons. So my idea with this is that I will have 2 master suites for each of the moms, and one of the suites will be on the top floor and one will be on the 2nd floor. And then those 2 funky rooms that are huge but have that adjoining door, I'm going to make a bedroom for each son. So I know in your comment you were like wanting a shared bedroom space, but it does have a door between them so they can be shared, or you can just delete the wall entirely and kind of turn it into one huge bedroom. But I'm thinking that's what I'm going to use for inspiration with this. So thank you for your comment. I really do appreciate it. And so I'm going to shift over to the other video just so you can see some other details that maybe were missed in the first video we walked through. So this is that same home. This is that room where you get like a better view of the inside from both angles of it and see how you walk through it to go to this landing that's by that staircase. So you have a landing here, which, you know, could be used as a bedroom space, but then you have that hallway where we never find out what's in that left room, but then you have another staircase up here with a door, which I thought was really cool. You don't see that in the other video, and he actually opens it to get to the 3rd floor. And then one thing I'll show you lastly with this video is the basement. So the staircase to the basement is actually off the kitchen under the hidden staircase. Yeah, so this is where we go down into the basement. So tons of staircases in this home, but you can see it's just like nothing super major going on here. We have that external door, which we're not going to have in the build, but it's an unfinished basement. Just nothing really in here. You have a sink, and then you have like an opening over here with a kind of small staircase up. So it's a huge house. Like if this was finished in its, you know, former glory days, this would have been such a huge house with so much room. I think you can see how there are so many intricacies with this house with all the staircases. So that's going to be a nightmare. So I will say right off the bat, you can see the river. So that's what I was talking about with why I chose Brindleton Bay. There's a river right there. And it's just a really cute vibe. And I think it fits the Brindleton Bay vibes a good bit from that. You can see like there's a lot of water near this house though in this video. So anyways, I'm glad you all got to see that too. So now we're going to hop into the game and really try to get into the nitty gritty on the floor plan with this. Again, I have my handy dandy notebook with my floor plan notes and things. Okay, so first things first, I think I want to figure out the order that we have to do these staircases. So I'm just going to slap a staircase there, delete the underside of it. Okay, we did it. We did it. We did it. Yeah, so you have to start from the top, but let's figure out the floor plan first and just keep the stairs in mind. Like we have to remember that because that's going to make the floor plan a disaster if we forget about the staircases. Okay, so keep in mind that we're just going to be doing the shell of this and the floor plan. So I'm just going to grab doors and counters just as placeholders. I'm just trying to figure out what's going to work here. Okay, so let's just kind of grab a door. We'll put a door here and a door here for now and see what we can do here. So we had the kitchen off of this door over here, and there was like a really small space with just a fridge and a cabinet. I might go ahead and start like grabbing some of the furniture. So if we have a fridge here, I need to turn my cheat on. What if I just go ahead and like put like a corner cabinet in? So we have a corner cabinet there. So if we do a cabinet here, it had like the stove right off of that cabinet, I think. So let's just grab a stove. We'll put that there. And then it like had a smaller end piece on the cabinet. And then it had like a window, any window. Yeah, there we go. Just keep in mind, we have a room behind the kitchen. We need to make sure we have room for that. What if I just block this off? Like a 3x4-ish, maybe? Okay, and then we need like a door. So we had that weird shape over here with the cabinet. I think we can pull it off. I might spend too much time on this. I'm trying not to, though. Don't worry. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this. It's like, what if we did this and then that? Like, does that work? I think I want to scoot this over because I'd like to fit another cabinet right here. Ooh, like a glove, baby. Wait, does this actually work? And it doesn't clip through. I just took a look at it again and it's a little bit wider. So I'm trying to think if I scoot that out more closer to the window, like in the actual video, and bring this out even further. Yeah, like that's the vibes right there. Maybe we can just put a line here, like a wall that's flush with the room that we already placed, because that's what it was in the video. It was just a straight wall down. And we had an opening over here or a door. So what if I grab another like big cabinet? I don't know if we're gonna pull off the hexagonal shape here. So let's see though. So maybe if I go ahead and put like 3, I think I gotta use the small guys, the little end pieces. So if I did, bear with me, I'm gonna line it up. Just give me a second. What if I grab this? I'm like so determined to make the funkiness work. I think it's because the kitchen is like the only room in the house that still had furniture in it. So it's like, if I'm going to replicate any part of the house, I want it to be the kitchen. Ooh, that kind of slots perfectly to that. Oh my goodness, did we pull this off or what? I'm like so ecstatic about that. And then we had a doorway to the staircase here. And since we know the staircase is right here, I think we just need to put like a line. I know it's gonna look a little weird right now, but just bear with me. I'm just trying to get things figured out. So we'll put the staircase here. So we have to go from top down for that. Why don't we go ahead and get that out of the way? Because that's making me really anxious right here. I think we did it. Delete the underside. And so here it's 5 over still and then up 1. Did we do it? Yes, we did. We can math. Oh, I forgot to delete I was like panicking there for a second. Keep forgetting you gotta delete the underside. And then you can place it. In the video, it actually does show the bottom floor, the wall height being a little bit higher. It looks like it anyway. The problem with that is when we raise the wall height, the staircases get 1 tile larger. And this is already pretty tight. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. I think we're gonna have to keep the wall height the same on all 3 floors just for the sake of the staircases working correctly. Is this accurate? Is that where we want that to be? Yes, okay, we're good. I might end up changing some of these doors to archways. I get it, they're all doors in the build, it looks like, but even this one, like, it didn't have a door on it, but the door was over here leaning up against the wall. I've watched these videos several times to make sure I get the floor plan. Okay, so this is like the mudroom area. I think I'm just gonna try to keep that really small because I just don't know if we're gonna be able to make that work because you have to keep in mind, we still have to fit like a bathroom over here somewhere. We have the dining room, the living room, we have the other room up in the front, we have the staircase up here we have to put. So I think that's a room where we can make it a little bit smaller. Let's see here. So with the dining space, I feel like this is kind of easy. I think it's just, let's cut it right there. And that actually lines up flush with that. That's like kind of perfect. And then we still had a room here. So off of the dining room, remember we had that random room here too. So lots of rooms, lots of rooms. And then we'll grab this and just kind of put the door right here for right now. Okay, and then this was like the living space, but it had that curved wall. So, what if I just do that? Let's see what we can do. And then this room actually had like a small closet, which we got in the second video. So the first video that we were watching doesn't go back here, and I guess it was a closet. And then in the Kappa video, he goes in there because he thinks it like connects to the front and it doesn't. And I'm like, I was right, it's a little closet. So this is a little closet space. So we have a door somewhere in here, and then like we'll put a door right here for now. We had like an archway here, and then we had like another archway leading into there, the pocket doors. This part makes me nervous. So maybe the arcade room, we can go ahead and block that off too, right there. Ooh, that makes this look small. Wait, maybe this isn't going to be there yet. Let's go ahead and put the front door. Sorry I keep like jumping around, but it's like you never know what you need to go ahead and place down first. Put the front door right there. because it is like close to the edge of this wall. Okay, I think I gotta like stop delaying it. We need to figure out the curved wall. So I need a tile for the shower to fit. Oh man, this is gonna be a nightmare. This is gonna be a nightmare. So if I go ahead and place the sink down, let's just place a sink. So we have a sink here, roughly. I still want that to be there. Is this gonna get rid of it? No, it doesn't. Okay, yay. So let's go ahead and grab a door. So the door, I don't normally like doors on the edges like that, but we need the toilet to go here. So, you know, we're gonna do our best here. We'll just put a toilet there. And then let's grab a shower just so we can know if this is gonna work correctly. Yeah, I think that works fine. This is the tricky part though, because trust me, I know from that pumpkin, sometimes you can't delete certain walls. So I'm hoping, yeah, I can't delete these walls. To be fair, it did have a door here, and I might just put an archway. So that's fine. Can I delete these? No. Interesting. Oh, wait, but this needs to be up more. So what if I put a wall right here? Can I just like redraw a wall? It deletes my curved wall. Yeah, see, this is what I thought it was going to do earlier. It deletes it whenever you close it off. Okay, so after much finagling, and I don't want to say how much time it took, I figured it out. It's just a crazy order of events you have to follow in order to get it to work. It's just so tricky. I hate rounded walls. I hate using rounded walls. I don't know why they have to make it so dang complicated to use rounded walls. But we did it. We did it. Now we still have to place the staircase, so that can definitely break it, but we did it. So we're going to take our W and run with it. So one thing that I'm trying to figure out now is to get the staircase in. Okay, so we can put it and it doesn't break the wall, the rounded wall. So we're good on that front. Keep in mind, we have to start from the top down. So we're like 2 in. So is this in the right spot or not? Because I'm not seeing a cutout. I think I broke it. I broke the game. They're like, you've been doing too much. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going crazy. Oh, okay. Okay. But I do have to like build a bump out. So we're not going to be able to like, I guess, stay completely true to the build, but I mean, close enough, right? So I think that's where, yeah. It's a process. We did it. Okay. We're good. This is kind of what our bottom floor is looking like. So I think we have a solid floor plan going on here. And then honestly, I think it's only going to get easier, dare I say, moving forward. The first floor was like the most like labyrinth of them all with trying to figure it out. So I think whenever we come up here, the bay window room, like that is still like the same. If you watch the video, the walls are at flush with the bay window area. So that at least helps us, like gives us a guide. And so this would be the other bedroom right here. So maybe that, because if you remember, this is like a tight space. Like it's not supposed to be a huge landing and hallway area. And then it actually did have like a bump out somewhere over here. Let's figure out the bathroom. I think that's going to help us a little bit more. So what if we put the bathroom about right here? I'm making it 2 tiles wide because putting the sink in the middle is not going to work and be super functional. I know you can do it. I know it can be functional, but it's not going to look right. And I don't want to have half the sink sticking into the wall. So yes, you can do it. I don't want to do it. So we're going to make it a little bit bigger. And then actually, if you play back the stair landing, there's like a little kind of nook here, like a door, but it does have something like that sticking out. And just so you know, I'm not crazy, I'm going to actually show y'all. So going up the stairs right here, but there's like a bump out right here. And then there's a bump out on this side. So this door to this room is kind of sunken in. So essentially we just need a wall right there. Now, keep in mind, we have like a random door in between the rooms here, and then we had another door going into this room here. Okay, so these were the 2 sons' bedrooms. So I'm kind of thinking this is going to be a master suite area, and it is kind of private because it's the hidden staircase, like hidden-ish staircase. So this door you can actually lock in the game and just keep anyone from coming in. So kind of treat it like a hotel, kind of that vibe a little bit. But I'm thinking we can like still block it off, even though all of this will be the master suite. We can still like define spaces. So I'm interested in this being like the bedroom space. If you remember, there was like a hallway with this, what I'm calling the split bathroom. I'm doing a split bathroom. And so I think we can like have this be a split bathroom. You'll have the vanity and tub in there and then the toilet in here. I know it's a big toilet space, but you know, we'll do something. You know me, I'll clutter something up just to show you more explicitly what I'm kind of thinking about. So we'll have that there. And then there was a platform here for the tub. So we can put our clawfoot tub in this area. I would like to do it this way, but I don't think your sim can actually use it facing the opposite way. It's kind of annoying that the faucets almost always have to go to the left side. And so this will be like that landing space that was in the video, and that can be like a fun area for the one single mom. So I think we're done with the floor plan up here. It was a lot more straightforward. And last but not least is the other mom's suite. So kind of making her own private space. Now, I think this is going to be super straightforward because I'm kind of thinking of just splitting it, taking this wall down, and this being like the bedroom bathroom. So maybe even have the tower be the bathroom area and this be like a huge bedroom. But then over here, I'm not sure yet what I want to do, but I'm kind of thinking of just having this be like a lot of random clutter, maybe even using the basement pack a little bit and putting a lot of the basement furniture and like putting some attic-y type things in this area, because keep in mind the third floor was unfinished in the home. So I think this part of the third floor could be like an ode to that a little bit, with not having like super, you know, finished rooms or anything, but using it more like storage. So that's kind of the idea for that right there, I think. So for now, just kind of put a door there and maybe a door over here. And then I do want to, I think, wall off this section. So like, what if I made it like a little landing so we can like move the door over here to that space and then put like a door right here. So I won't have like the wall here. I'll put a railing right there. That way it's closed off and a little bit more private. The nice thing with Victorian homes is you can do things that look a little weird or wonky, but it kind of fits the vibe of Victorian homes. Let's try to like get some idea of the touches that we want on this, because that's what we have left to do now. So there should be like a door right there. The nice thing is that we don't have a ton of pink options necessarily. And I think I like the Strangerville just because it fits the vibes with like still kind of the spooky season a little. So if we were to use Strangerville, which has a mix of the pink and white, I think is kind of like a fun ode to that. This is just a placeholder, nothing specific to work with here yet. We just have like one little area. I might scoot that door over a little and then it just wraps around on that side. Let's grab these stairs. So this is like the like easier part, at least, just to kind of get an idea for where we want placement, because doors and windows, got to make sure that those are going to be put in places that make sense. Okay, so the doors aren't going to be in line. We're going to get over that because it bothers me. I know it bothers you. We're just going to make it work. Okay, so we'll place these, and these are actually tight in the real home. Like they were actually touching pretty much. Like the corner here was in line with the corner here. We might flip it. We could put the shelves on this side of the wall. That's probably what I'll do. I think the Strangerville columns would be great. I think I might just lean into the Strangerville elements in general, just so they all kind of match. So the columns on the house, I like these, but the columns on the actual house are a bit more square. So I think we're gonna incorporate these and make them white. Now, one thing that's weird with the Victorian homes too, it's not weird, but it can look odd, is that they were meant to be very symmetrical in a lot of ways. So what you see me doing here is super cringe, but it is actually how it is in the build. So they do not line up the column with the stair railing, which annoys me, but they are evenly spaced right here. I did take the liberty of doing two columns here though, just because the front door, I like the idea of the front door being a little bit more like accented with having two columns in the front. But yeah, this bothers me. We got to get over it. We're going with the build, the vibes of the build. So kind of similar things. It doesn't line up with the one over here. Oh! You know what? And the real thing, it actually is like that. The column's right in front of the door. That's interesting. But see, like they're evenly spaced. They're even right here. So that's all that matters. That's in the spirit of the build. That's in the spirit of the build. Oh, it bothers me so much, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And then don't worry about the basement. Right now, I'm just leaving it kind of like a big block. I might leave that kind of empty too. Okay, so now I want to like work on roofing a little bit. I definitely like how high the bay window roofing kind of goes. Okay, so there's a trick to this. If you still want there to be like a little bit of overhang, just copy and paste it. And then on this one, lower it and then do that. And then I want it to be like curved. Oh, that's annoying. No, it clips on the inside. Oh, I'm keeping it. I don't care. Matches the vibes on the outside. That's what's most important to me. I think I need to put a platform up here. I don't know how high yet. I got to figure out the roof. And I'm probably going to do the same thing I did with the little spot over here with the bay windows. The roofing kind of has like this nice like curved look to it. So I'm going to use this for like the more bubble look at the top, and then I'll kind of use the second roof piece like I did for the bay windows for that effect with the lip at the bottom of it. Okay, now that I have that, I just want to see what this looks like. I think the platform trim would actually help cover that up a little bit because the home itself has like really large trims. So I'm not too worried about it sticking over. Okay, so we've copied it. So now we'll bring this part out, which looks ridiculous right now. Just wait for it. And then we'll do something to this effect. Okay, so I kind of just went ahead and took the liberty of fixing the roof, and I put the railings and the roofing in on the other pieces, just not to bore you all, but this is kind of what I'm going with, and I did kind of play around with spandrels a little bit too. So these are from Strangerville as well, and so I just thought this lent to the vibes, and they do have a pink swatch of these, but you know, and it looks really cute, but on the actual house, they're just white. So I'm trying to stay to the vibes of the house. And also an interesting thing too, if you look, is that the railings on the staircases are white, but the railings on the house part are pink. So I guess technically it's the railings are white, but the fence is pink. And one thing I also did was I was playing with the columns, because in the house you can see like it has this kind of brick look to it that's layered and overlapping a little. So we have brick patterns that actually do that with the walls on the corners. Like we have things like this, and then we have some other options like Realm of Magic, I think also has something like that. Yeah, like these, but that's not the vibes and it's not brick obviously. But we do have pink siding, so I do think we can like do something fun with that. And also kind of looks rough. So I think Horse Ranch, I think this is too wide. So in the real house, it's like thin siding like this. So I think this is more the vibe. So I honestly think that this is the best bet for kind of the look of the house. I think what I can do is put those stains. So we have like a lot of different stains that we can use as like wall decor. On the actual house, it looks like this is solid white with the windows. So maybe I can just like put a generic white. That's kind of nice. And it has like some of the splotchiness to it. That could work maybe. And then I'm thinking vampire windows would look great on this house just for the style that we have. Like Strangerville are really pointed, and that's not at all what we have on this house. We have a lot of curves. Ooh, these actually are kind of nice too. But I think it would be fun if we could stick with like the occult packs and use those a little bit more. They're a little too wide, but I think we can make that work. It's kind of like an illusion. From the front, it looks fine. From the side, you can see it maybe, you know, not lining up very well. I think we can make it work. This is just a placeholder for right now. Happy Haunts shingle roof. That's perfect because it does have like these types of shingles. Yeah, like it's funny how that like completely transforms the build so quickly and easily. Where did my columns go? Okay, well, I got my columns back. I don't know what happened with that. That was weird. I kind of want to work on the dormers because we have those like nice decor pieces. We can start like kind of putting these where they need to go. And what's funny is that the windows are not even in line with the dormers at all. Like they're a little off-centered. We have 4 on the backside. So we have the bump out. So we might just have to put 3. Okay, those are evenly spaced. I think that worked. I think that looks fine. It doesn't look too funky. But that's actually how it is. Like the windows are actually to the left, off-centered a little bit. That's so funny how that actually works out. Not super secret stairs, because that's where the stairs are, but we'll do what we can. What if I use like the bigger ones on the front? Or just in general, like what if I used these instead to cover more of the house? I don't know, the small ones just look kind of off to me a little. This wall is just like is missing something, it looks like, and I just think that having bigger windows helps fill in the space more. Now that doesn't look nearly as awkward. Maybe I could do small ones on this area because this porch is so small. I don't want it to be like so many windows. Keeping in mind the doors on the sides of the house like this, I think are all glass, like have windows. These are perfect. I would like to use these because they're arched windows, like they match the house, but in the actual house, they're square. The door windows are square. So maybe we use these instead. Oh my goodness, this is so fun. I've never used like pink doors and stuff in any of my builds, so I'm like super excited about it. The thing I don't like is that it's pink on the inside too. Maybe that'll be like a fun kind of challenge to make it work because I'm excited to use the pink doors. I don't know, the way like these windows don't look white as much as the top ones kind of makes me not like the way it's looking. Okay, so this is like the only alternative I can find. And so I'm gonna let you all decide. If you watch this video and you have a preference, like these don't match the style of the house as much. So if we want realism, these are like the actual kind of look with the arch and the little square thing in the middle like it and everything. Like that looks very much like the original windows. These would match better with the like white, but also the windows are bigger, so I'd have to lower it, which means it's going to clip with the roof. So there are pros and cons to both because I don't know if I want it to be that high up. You all decide. If you have a preference, let me know. If not, then I might just leave it like this because keep in mind, we're going to stain it up a good bit. So it's not going to be super pink. It's going to have dark stains on it. So these are actually going to probably stick out like a sore thumb, but they're the right style and everything. So I do not want to budge on using these dormers. And then lastly, the stairs look like they were pink. Granted, you know, they're faded in the pictures, but it does look like they had color on them. I kind of like that. I wish it wasn't as fancy with the stone, but it's like a more faded pink. Maybe we do that. Because the grain in the marble actually makes it look like it's dirty or worn out in a way. So maybe that's the vibe a little bit more. Okay, and then we'll finish putting our spandrels around everywhere. The 4 rent doors I chose originally actually do come in pink. So I think these are going to be the doors that I use on this build. So that's what we're going with right now. This is what we're working with right now. I think I can say that now. I'm not worried about the floors being finished. This is kind of the vibes though that we're going with. We did it. We have the shell, we have the floor plan kind of figured out. Super excited to put this together. So thank y'all for hanging out with me. This video is super long. I have a ton of footage to go through and edit. And let me know if you enjoy this type of video, like going through YouTube videos of like abandoned homes or just homes in general. If you would like to see me recreate more homes in real life and transfer them into The Sims, I think it's kind of a fun thing to do. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you click that subscribe button so you don't miss the tour of the final product of this build. I have a lot of ideas and I'm super excited to go through them and show you the build once it's completed. Thanks for hanging out with me and I hope to see you in the next one. Okay, bye. Wow, you guys, I don't even want to say like how many hours of footage I have from this video alone, just doing the shell and the floor plan, but it actually has been a blast.